Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. In the sprawling metropolis of Kailas Prime, wealth was no longer counted in coins or digital credits. Instead, it was measured in the currency of starlight, actual photons from distant stars that bathed the citizens, bestowed by carefully calibrated skylights embedded in their homes and clothing, and harvested through elaborate rooftop collectors. In this world, the fortunatest basked in cascades of celestial glow, their very skin shimmering with the essence of galaxies far away. The poorer classes, struggling in perpetually gray zones swaddled beneath mega-structures that blocked the celestial canopy, were starless and destitute. The origin of starlight as currency traced back 2 centuries, when fossil fuels became scarce and digital currencies faced catastrophic collapses. Discoveries in photonic energy harvesting revealed that starlight could be converted into an energy-emotion currency, energizing, pleasing, and above all, symbolizing eternal wealth that no one could counterfeit. They called it the Starlight Dividend, paid daily like a natural interest on owning rights to skylight exposure, and its value skyrocketed. The Celestial Authority, a conglomerate of the richest syndicates, controlled the sky's infrastructure. Using vast arrays of orbital mirrors and atmospheric projectors, they channeled starlight across the planet, modulating its yield to keep the upper echelons radiant and the poor dimmed in shadows. Their power was ordained by the cosmos itself. Appearing untouchable, the authority decreed every photon's allocation. But these stolen beams became the light chain's binding society, until one night, the sky was stolen. Her name was Lyra Solvin, once a gifted astrophysicist turned thief by necessity and defiance. She lived in the Undercity's maze of forgotten conduits and dark alleys, where the feeble glow from flickering holopanels barely interrupted the deep nocturnal void. Lyra's lean figure moved silently across the rooftops, her delicate fingers manipulating a stolen device, a celestial toggler programmed to hack the orbital mirror arrays that cast starlight to the Earth. For months, Lyra had prepared for this moment. Starlight was not just for the favored. It was a right, as fundamental as breathing. But the Celestial Authority had enslaved the sky, fracturing it into parcels bought and sold like land titles. Every night, Lyra peeled away fragments of their control network, tracing its labyrinthian codes embedded within the encrypted light paths. At midnight, when the largest mirror array rotated over Kailas Prime, she activated the device. The orbital projectors hummed, their celestial beams realigning, not to the divided estates of the elite but to a single new destination. Landing abruptly in the authority's data cores came a message broadcast across media channels worldwide. The sky is sold. The Celestial Authority went into chaos as their systems blinked and flickered under this unprecedented hijacking. The starlight distribution grids, engineered to parcel the sky in sparkling percentages, began collapsing into anarchic flows of pure illumination. Instead of being rationed, the starlight drenched all cities equally, drowning the wealthy in unexpected darkness as their secured skylights faltered. Underneath the metropolis, the impoverished citizens stepped into streets awash with glowing light, their faces aglow with wonder. For the first time in decades, no cloud of shadow dimmed their dreams. It was a revolution of radiance. But the Celestial Authority would not yield so easily. Their agents, clad in luminescent armor and wielding photon disruptors, scoured the city, hunting the phantom who dared fracture the sky's monopoly. They branded Lyra an existential threat, a cosmic anarchist. Yet Lyra vanished into the radiant chaos, her grace and intelligence allowing her to evade their grasp. She watched from the shadowed canals of sublevels as starlight began to shape new patterns. People who had only known darkness learned to walk bathed in celestial grace. Gardens bloomed under the restored night glow. Children played in the luminous parks hidden beneath the once exclusive towers. In the following days, the world confronted the consequences of a sky unknown. Markets crashed and surged as starlight prices collapsed, but the human spirit soared. The Starlight Dividend, once a symbol of division, became a fluid light shared by all, a galaxy. Scattered in every gaze, the elite convened emergency councils, desperate to regain control. They dispatched emissaries promising compromise, partial starlight rights, star-powered bonds, and restrictive luminance licenses. But the demand for universal starlight was unstoppable. In the hive-like underground, Lyra convened with a coalition of scientists, artists, and former authorities who recognized the change as inevitable. They called themselves the Celestial Collective, working to stabilize and decentralize starlight technologies, ensuring no single entity could ever commodify the sky again. In the months that followed, the orbital mirrors were remapped. Instead of centering on private estates, they beamed gentle coronas over every settlement, every forest, every ocean. Starlight no longer measured wealth, but unity and hope. The celestial glow fostered an infusion of goodwill and creative energy across humanity. Lyra's life became one lived in service, a constant balancing act between technological innovation and public stewardship of the sky. She perfected new devices that harnessed starlight's energy without exhaustion or loss, enabling the impoverished to power homes and heal under the cosmic rays. Yet not all celebrated the change. The disempowered elites hatched plots to reclaim the sky, enticing rogue factions and buying mercenary armies equipped with dark light weapons designed to dim the stars permanently. Lyra faced these threats with the same ingenuity that once breached the celestial grids. One tense night, as dark light torpedoes streaked toward the orbital mirrors, Lyra and her coalition deployed a spectral shield, a matrix of refracted starlight that bent and scattered the attack harmlessly into the void. The battle ignited a symbolic war between darkness and illumination, but the inhabitants of Kylus Prime, united by their reclaimed sky, demonstrated unfaltering resilience. Through this conflict emerged a legendary chapter in human history. It was said that when darkness sought to swallow the world again, humanity stood like stars themselves, a constellation of hope, bravery, and shared light. Years passed, and the Celestial Collective transformed into the Stellar Council, caretakers of an open sky. Education centers grew, teaching people not to trade light but to harness it with reverence and respect. Space programs flourished, aiming to explore beyond the nearest stars rather than profit from them. The Earth and sky operated as a true symbiosis rather than a commodity. Lyra Solvin, now hailed as the Starbreaker, remained humble, her eyes always turned upward. She remembered the night she sold the sky, not to the highest bidder but to the people. She had unlocked the infinite vault of cosmic light, reminding humanity that some treasures transcend possession. Under the endless violet shimmer of shared starlight, Kylus Prime blossomed into a beacon of innovation and compassion. The sky was no longer a prize to be hoarded but a gift to be celebrated. Every glimmer narrated the story of freedom reclaimed, the cosmic symphony playing endlessly above the city that dared to store its wealth not in banks but in the stars themselves. For more stories, like and subscribe.